Hi. Okay, so I just made a video and it deleted, so I had to make a new one, and I'm using it on my phone now for better quality. But anyways, I'm making this video because my youth group just brought back a lesson that they did in the past on the book I Kissed Dating Goodbye by Joshua Harris. I actually have a friend of mine borrowing it, so I can't show you, but I will try to make a video each week about each chapter, which is 15 chapters, and then I can talk about it. So basically, the book isn't all that the title says. You read the title "I Kissed Dating Goodbye" and you're like, oh heck no, I don't want to read this. Sometimes, like me, if you're like me, you're like, "I Kissed Dating Goodbye," and I was like, no, I don't want to kiss dating goodbye. And then I start to read it and it's really intriguing, and then after I read it, and I just had a totally new aspect on dating and relationships. So I kind of just felt encouraged to share each lesson that we learn. Let me see. Okay, so basically the first chapter we had last week what started off with the story of a woman who had a dream that it was her wedding day, and she's at the altar and she's facing her future husband, and he's holding her hand, and they're about to say their vows and stuff, and a girl walks up behind him. Then another girl walks up behind him, and another, and there's 6 girls standing behind him, and she's like, is this some kind of joke? What's going on? And he's like, these are all my past girlfriends. Each of them has a part of my heart. And of course, being a girl reading that, I'm like, oh my gosh, why? What's going on? I would hate that. And I'm all sad. But it got me thinking, what the heck? What if I was at my wedding day facing my future husband, and then all his exes come up behind him, and you're just no, what the heck? So it kind of just opened my eyes, and it's a piece of your heart goes with each person that you connect with, emotionally, physically, mentally. A piece of your heart goes with them whether you realize that or not. So when you finally do find that one person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, they just get whatever's left of you. And how unfair is that? How sad and heartbreaking is it to think about it that way? And it kind of just changed my perspective. Just that alone changed my perspective on dating. And it's just I don't want that for my future husband. I don't want to have to explain to him all these exes and all this stuff, all the people I dated, all the people I opened up to. That's just really sad to me. So we were just basically talking about relationships and things like that, and I actually commented and talked about not a story, just a little thing my friend had talked to me about. She was telling me about, she had a friend that was a guy, that they were really good friends. They were best friends, and she opened up to him about herself, and he opened up to her, just like friends do. So they are adults now, and he's married and she's single, but they had seen each other, and it was just an awkwardness because he knew everything about her, things that not even her family knew. Her mother knew, her friends. He knew everything, and he's married, and she knows all this stuff about him. And I was thinking, how, I had a friend at the time that I had really opened up to, and I'm just how horrible would that be for me to be married and then see that my friend, that guy, we don't talk anymore, but how weird would it be to see him and see him with his wife and see me with my husband, and it's just like awkward because it's like, oh, I know everything about you, you know everything about me. It's like, it'd be hurtful. And basically, girls and guys can't be friends, especially when you're dating someone or you're married. There's just like, I've always been the type of person that's like, no, guys and girls can be friends. Yes, they can. They could be best friends. I get along with guys better. You know, girls say that all the time. But honestly, there's a line that should not ever be crossed. And opening up on a personal level is just not good for friendships like that. Yes, guys and girls can be friends to a certain extent, but there should never be those boundaries crossed, because eventually someone's going to get emotional or physical attraction there, and it's just going to mess things up. So, we're just talking about that. And I guess that's just the gist of the first lesson. I wish I could remember the chapter. But today's lesson was the little relationship principle. The joy of intimacy is the reward for commitment. So, think about that for a second. When you think of intimacy, you obviously think of the physical, but there is also intimacy in an emotional level that many, probably many girls go through when they talk to a guy. That guys are more physical and girls are more emotional. So you don't ever think about the emotional aspect of it, that you kind of open up to someone or get close to someone, that emotional attachment starts to grow. And when you guys stop talking, it's just like, oh, I miss you. It's like sad. But intimacy should be saved for marriage, not just in the physical aspect, but in the emotional aspect. And a lot of relationships nowadays don't even have commitment. There was a story in the lesson about Joshua Harris, how he was on a show and they were kind of teasing him about his views on relationships and his book. But basically, they had mentioned something that, well, what if someone doesn't want to get married? What if the guy and the girl are just in it for fun, friends with benefits type of thing? And honestly, those situations, eventually someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get attached, and a lot of movies nowadays are no strings attached and friends with benefits and enjoy, get a little hookup and nothing. There's no feelings there. And, oops. Sorry. Okay, and that's totally not true. Like, not just girls sometimes. Like, well, for girls, it's always a more emotional aspect that I guess my sister said there's some statistic that when a guy and a girl connect on an emotional level, a girl has like a certain endorphin like released that makes it emotional, and the guy doesn't have that. So girls are naturally just more emotional about stuff like that, which is pretty obvious. Most of us know that. But it's honestly a big deal. Like, you can't just have, like, relationships need commitment, and no one commits nowadays. No, I feel like there's almost not even love anymore. Everyone just wants a quick fix, hook up. You're here one day, gone the next, and a lot of people are okay with that. And our minds are so disordered that relationships don't last. A lot of marriages are broken, a lot of broken homes, and it affects people, and it affects the children, it affects people. And it's sad because it's like, why aren't our relationships lasting? Because there's no commitment, because there's no love, because that intimacy started way before you even got married, and it ruined things. It ruined things for you. And I think also that's why a lot of people cheat, because that intimacy is lost. You lost that emotional aspect, you lost the physical, and it just causes you to desire other things that you don't even need. So, the joy of intimacy is the reward of commitment. So basically, relationships need that communication and that commitment to each other. And like a relationship without commitment is like shouldn't even exist. Like, what is the point of that? What good is going to come out of that? Your quick fix, your quick hookup, your friend with benefits. What happens when in the future you want to get married and or someone develops feelings and then the other person's like, no, I don't like you that way. This is just a hookup. How hurtful would that be? How stupid would you feel? I just think a lot about friendships that I have with people that are half-hearted. Like, they're my friend, but they never make an effort to hang out with me, or they don't text me, they don't communicate with me. What is that? That's a friendship with no commitment. Like, how are you my friend if you're not even gonna hang out with me or make the time to see me? And how can a relationship last if there's no effort there? In a relationship, I sure as heck wouldn't like if my boyfriend was like, oh, let's just be together, but let's not commit to each other for a while, but I still want to be with you. It's like, what's the point then? Just go. I'm in a relationship for keeps. What are you here for? But basically, I'm rambling on, but I really love this book for the reason that it kind of just changed my perspective on the way I saw other people too. That you should, obviously you should treat people the way you want to be treated, but you should treat the opposite sex with respect as that you would for your brother or sister. So, it amazes me how a lot of the men who disrespect women have sisters, have cousins, have mothers that they're really close to, and they're so disrespectful to women. And it's just amazing to me how you can do that. Like, why would you disrespect a girl when if a guy disrespected your sister, you would be so mad. It's crazy to me. And I just think that we need to learn to treat others with the respect that you would want for yourself. I'm not going to disrespect some guy. I wouldn't want my brother to be disrespected. If a guy's watching this, don't disrespect a girl. Like, I'm sure you wouldn't want some guy lusting after your sister or calling your sister a bee or different words or taking advantage of her. So why do that to someone else? What else was I gonna say? Well, I guess that's basically it. I don't want to be on this too long, but I encourage you to get that book, I Kissed Dating Goodbye by Joshua Harris. I think he's now married and he has a lot of books out there that I totally want to read. But relationships have purpose, and you shouldn't date until you're ready to commit, because it's hard to control yourself. It is hard to wait and to be patient. And when you're 16, 15, 14, 15, 16, younger, because a lot of people are dating younger, you don't know what you want. You change your mind so much, especially at that age. How are you going to know that that's the guy that you want? Like, I know there's rare cases like that where you marry your high school sweetheart, your middle school sweetheart. But honestly, how often does that happen? You should focus on your career and your goals in life and God, working for the kingdom of God and making something of yourself before you even consider dating. There's so much ahead of you, and honestly, singleness is such a short-lived time. Like, most people get married at like 25. I'm 19, so that 6 year of singleness, I should enjoy for the 50 years I'm going to be married. Maybe 50 years, I'm just 50, 60, whatever. However many years I'm going to be married, that is such a short amount of time compared to that forever you're going to spend with the love of your life. Heck yes, I'm going to enjoy it. Why? It just amazes me that no one else sees it that way, that this is such a short-lived time. Stop worrying about the relationship. Stop worrying about having a Valentine. Stop worrying about having a date to this or that. It's like, it's not even, it's so, like, minute compared to the big picture. Like, oh, it's so irritating. And honestly, if a relationship is going to give you that much trouble at this age, don't even stay here for the drama. It's just going to be worse when you guys get married. It's going to be worse if you guys stay together. It's going to be worse if you get pregnant and have his baby. Like, I'm not talking to anybody, but it's just like, so many people ask me for advice, and it's like, if they're not a good person and you can't see yourself marrying them, break up with them. It's not worth it. And I've had an experience where I was dating for a long time, and it just kind of, it changed me, and all that effort I put into someone, I wish that I would have put into something else. And it was just like a waste of my time, effort, but honestly, all that can be turned into something good. Everyone goes through something for a reason, and you can use that for the better. So all that time and commitment and passion that I had for that person could be turned into something good, and I turned it to God, and I honestly don't regret it. I wish I would have done it sooner. And if you hold out and wait, He will give you the desires of your heart. And it'll be more than what you ever imagined, what you ever could have hoped for. And He knows your deepest desires, and He's gonna bless you way more than you can ever imagine. So just hold out and wait. It's worth it. It may be hard sometimes. There may be some lonely nights, sleepless nights, but it's worth it. And if you get anything out of this, just know that treat others with respect. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated as your brother or sister. It's worth the wait. And every decision that you make, think about the future and think about how it'll affect you, or how it could affect your future, or affect this or that. I'll try to make more videos, and if hopefully this helps someone. I'm sorry it's on for a long time, but yeah, get the book, and hopefully I'll keep you updated on the next lesson. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, bye.